Welcome to another episode of You Are Heard. Yay! I have my lovely guest, Janae. Now, Janae is the owner and operator of Variations of Beauty Wellness. Janae is dedicated to helping people not only look their best, but also feel their best inside and out. Through her business, she offers services and resources that connect beauty, self-care, and overall wellness. So, tell us about yourself, Janae.
Yes, so I am Janae Tompkins. I am a board certified nurse practitioner. I have been in the healthcare field now for over 14 years. I graduated from Florida A&M University, FAMU. Yes.
Go Rattlers.
Yes. Okay. So my background includes emergency medicine, as well as pediatrics, internal medicine, so dealing with adults. And then now I branched to aesthetics and wellness as well.
Okay. All right. So what inspired you to start your business?
Yes, so definitely with my background of being in the emergency room and then now in internal medicine or primary care, I see so many sick people.
Okay.
So anything from hypertension, from diabetes, from cholesterol to autoimmune disorders, and no one is being proactive about prevention of care.
Okay.
So
all right. So how did you merge the two? What all do you offer from your primary job that you took over to your entrepreneurial business?
Yes.
How do they align?
So with the internal medicine knowledge that I did gain, I was able to know things that you can do prior to having that diagnosis. So that's where you have the wellness aspect come into play in regards to like your diet, your nutrition, your supplemental usage, obviously rest, exercise. That all goes together to prevent hypertension from happening or to prevent cholesterol or being diabetic.
Okay. All right. So if it was like a key thing that you wanted people to know, branching off by yourself, what would that be? What would be that key thing?
That key thing I would say is to start early and be consistent. Just because a lot of people feel as though even though they're in their 20s, they can still eat how they want. They can still do whatever, smoke, drink. And then now we're in our 30s and we're trying to play catch up.
Girl.
Yes. So consistency, just because if you know you already have a family history of being diabetic, hypertension, you're predisposed to that. So you can definitely, beat the curve or beat the curse or whatever, that generic generational disposition that's there. You can get rid of that.
Okay.
But consistency is key.
Right, and everything in life, definitely our health and wellness.
Yeah.
So what services do you offer at Variations of Beauty Wellness?
So I currently offer on my aesthetic side, I do, of course, all cosmetic things. So Botox, I do filler, I do microneedling, I do skincare. I offer on my wellness side the IV therapy, your vitamin injection, weight loss, and hormone management.
All right. How do you determine the candidates? Because in the beauty industry, I'm in it as well. I have people who come in the salon and like, oh, I want fillers, I want injections. And I'm like, you want what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What you talking about? Or, certain things that I don't understand. How do you determine if they're a candidate for it? Is anybody able to go get these services or?
Right.
What?
So no, everyone is not able to get services. I do a thorough medical history background. So I do have to pre-screen prior to, just because certain autoimmune disorders have contraindications for certain things. If you're on medication, there are certain contraindications to getting certain treatments. So medical background is done whether you're getting aesthetics or you're doing wellness services.
Okay. All right. So walk me through it. If I come into your business and I'm like, hey, I just went to someone else and I got fillers like 3 weeks ago and I hate it. Can you fix it or can you do this for me? I mean, I am so ignorant to it. Trust me. I'm thinking about braids when somebody done messed up some hairstyles. And I'm like, okay, but this is literally things that people are injecting in their body.
Correct.
So how do you determine
So first I would ask the person, what is it that bothers them? Just to kind of get a baseline. Just because if you're going for filler, your filler is a replacement of something. So whether you're concerned with like your cheeks or your lips or my chin is too short, I don't have a jawline, there's something that bothers you that wants you to fix it. So I would start there. Unfortunately, I don't go behind anyone else's work.
Good job. Yeah, you should.
So I unfortunately would tell you need need to go back to that person, especially if it's been 3 weeks. Ideally, it takes filler about 2 weeks to settle. So you should know like your full results within a 2 to 3 week period for sure. And if you're not satisfied, then that person unfortunately needs to do some correction there.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So what would you say your most popular service is?
My most popular service, of course, is weight loss.
Yes. That's the thing. Everyone is on these, the shots.
Yes.
The pills.
Yes.
Take us through there.
So medical weight loss includes semaglutide, or most people know it as Ozempic, which is the brand name, or you have tirzepatide, which is Mounjaro. So just for like a quick education, Ozempic and Mounjaro are only prescribed for those who have type 2 diabetes.
Okay.
From that, they were able to make the weight loss version, which is Wegovy and Zepbound.
Okay.
But the active molecule of that is semaglutide and tirzepatide.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So unfortunately, insurance does not always cover that for a lot of people.
Right.
So if your insurance doesn't cover that, then you are able to get the compounded version of those medications. And when I say compounded, you have different FDA-approved pharmacies who take the molecule and they add B12 or they add B6 to kind of compound it and make it their own.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So from that, my mind is like racing because you hear all of these stories of people who are getting the Ozempic and they're not diabetic, or they're getting these off, they're getting it from somebody when they shouldn't be getting it. So what would you tell them, people? Like, what is the harm in it? What is it,
Yeah, so definitely, I've seen situations where, people are getting it through like a research, website online. You need to make sure that you are going to a approved provider. And a provider is a nurse practitioner, a physician, a nurse practitioner, a physician's assistant, a medical doctor, any of those who do hold a medical license to be able to treat, diagnose you in that situation. Someone, and this is no shade to anyone, but those who are estheticians, they should not be prescribing medical weight loss, even if they do have a doctor that's with them. Is that doctor, diagnosing you or evaluating you in that situation, or those? Yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that.
I get you. I see where you're going though. I'm picking up what you're putting down. So walk us through one of those visits. If I was someone off the streets who came in, what would that look like?
Yeah, so with the medications, there's always going to be some form of contraindication. So there's always red tape. So of course, just knowing your background. So what diagnosis do you have? Do you have hypertension? Do you have diabetes? Is there a family history of a certain thyroid cancer? Just because for sure that's a hard stop when it comes to that medication. Recent blood work, just because that is something that I do like to see before starting on any medical weight loss program. And then what's your goals? Just because that's super important. I'm always goal driven, but I like to be able to focus on the medication and the route that we're going with the nutrition, but also be mindful of what the person's goal is. And then I do take into account, obviously, like medications that we're taking, so that way, if you have a history of hypertension or blood pressure issues, we're not causing your blood pressure medication to be too much for when you do have the weight loss.
Right. Okay. I understand that.
So I'm kind of doing like a pre-screening, so to say. During that evaluation, of course, I do a physical exam of the person, get vital signs from my own baseline, and then reviewing blood work. A lot of the times I do get blood work from other providers that maybe that the person doesn't fully understand. So I have to go through that thoroughly, which is not an issue, just because I would prefer for you to understand what your values are versus getting blood work and not know what you're looking at.
Right. All right, so they get their blood work. I will get my blood work done. I'll come back to you. We will go through it and see what exactly is in there. Because I know I've gotten blood work before, and they'll tell me, oh, you're deficient in iron or vitamin D or something like that. Are those other things that, I know because I've gotten it from you. But for the people, are those other services you offer as well?
So definitely when it comes to like the vitamin injections, I offer B12. I offer vitamin D, which a lot of people are deficient in. B12 is really good because it helps to increase the red blood cells in your system. And then when it comes to vitamin D is a slow riser. So you'll often have people who will take a daily supplement, but it's still not sufficient enough. So vitamin D, the treatment plan would be based upon whatever the levels is of that person. But ideally, it's on like a monthly basis for a 6-month period.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Doing like vitamin D injections, I'm okay with just doing one. But if we're going to do a series of vitamin D injections due to a deficiency, I do like to see blood work prior to.
Right. Right. Makes sense. Very, very, very healthy.
Yeah.
What role does self-care play in overall wellness? Like self-care, like as women, as people in general, because I see a lot of times women come to you, and I want more men.
Yes.
To come. Like I'm rooting for my brothers.
Yes. And what's crazy, I do see a lot of men too. Men just don't like to be on the camera because men don't want to have someone to know. Oh, I'm getting Botox.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Or I done lost a few pounds. Men do not want their. Yes. Men, it's 50-50. Yeah, when it comes to my patient load. So as many women as you see, I have just as many men.
So brothers.
It's okay to be proactive about your health.
Right. And I would want other people to be more transparent about it.
Yes.
And that pride of a man. But you can help a brother out. You really can by not holding it as a secret. And I am shocked.
Yes. But unfortunately, men that I do see are often in their 40s, 50s, 60s.
Okay.
30s.
Yeah. Okay.
Because again, the pride comes into place, or I still feel as though men in their 30s they're not as health conscious. So we're still living on the I'm okay, I don't feel anything, I feel fine.
Right, yeah. Instead of going to get the actual work done.
Yes.
Well, okay. So, all right. So back to the question: how does self-care play in overall wellness?
I feel as though if you feel and look good, you will definitely be more proactive about your health. Even when it comes to something simple as losing weight. Once you start to lose weight, your energy levels pick up. You want to have your hair done. You want to get your Botox so that way you're looking younger. You want to have your facials or whatever that may be for you. You want to get your IV drip so that way your energy levels are constant every month and you're not dragging like an old person.
Right.
So self-care is super important. I think it really does go hand in hand with the whole wellness realm.
And I agree. I love my nature walks and trails and stuff, but I do notice when I'm deficient in vitamin D and B12, and my iron is low as well. So I go get my shots and stuff like that, or I take supplements. But getting outside and getting some real, some sunlight, getting yourself what you eat, your day to day, what you ingest in your body, alcohol, all those type of things. Are very, very important, especially the older we get. So,
absolutely.
Self-care to me. And then the mental health part of it. Because I didn't know vitamin D plays in your mood.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Vitamin
D whenever I yell at my kids, I blame vitamin D.
You're vitamin D. Girl, that ain't the only reason.
I said, wait, give me a minute, my vitamin D. Everybody's been looking at me like, okay. But you say, I'm telling you. All right, so can you share a success story of how you made a difference for a client?
So one of my favorite stories is a young lady who I treated with her weight loss journey. She has a history of PCOS, which is Polycystic Ovary Syndrome, and she has struggled with her weight for a really long time. Also struggled with fertility for a really long time. Due to the weight, due to the PCOS. And so we made a treatment plan for her to be able to get on medication. We had a time frame. She was able to lose a significant amount of weight, and she was able to get pregnant. I know. Like that just warms my heart. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So it's just because when it comes to PCOS, I can go down the whole,
and
episode
that
with that.
it's I'm hearing it a lot more these days. I'm well into my 30s, but I didn't know. You hear of endometriosis, you hear those things, but I never heard so much PCOS. So can you, as women who are maybe not as informed, could you explain that?
Yeah, so Polycystic Ovary Syndrome is a metabolic syndrome that affects a lot of women. There's not a specific age range on it, but there's 4 different areas of it where you can be insulin resistant to where that makes you more prone to being type 2 diabetic, and that causes you to have like an inability to lose weight. I have PCOS.
Really?
Yes.
Does it never go away?
It doesn't. No. You can control it.
Really?
Yeah, but you'll still have it underlying.
Okay.
Yeah. Also with the PCOS, people often complain of being tired all the time, so low energy levels. Vitamin D deficiency is linked to that. Oftentimes you can have adrenal insufficiency or thyroid issues, which can affect your weight or affect your mood. Women complain of hair loss, hair growth in abnormal places.
Girl, you about to have me check off. Oh Lord, I'm gonna check off 3 boxes on a
Yeah. It can happen post-pill too. So like after you come off of a birth control, that can prompt your hormones to just kind of be out of whack. So oftentimes it's where you have a higher testosterone and then your estrogen or your progesterone levels are a little bit on the lower side.
Wow.
So it's like an imbalance pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to treatment for that, there's natural ways where you can do it with treating with diet, exercise supplements, or there's medications that people can use as well.
And you offer that? Wow.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of the juicing, and then you pretty much are the only one on my radar that I see promoting and posting.
Exactly. Just because there's not a lot of awareness to it. There is not. And we just actually came from out of PCOS Awareness Month.
Wow.
So I made it an effort to post something daily about PCOS just to bring that awareness to it.
Yeah. So do you think an average woman who may have heard some of the symptoms, should they go to their doctor and say, hey,
absolutely.
Can I test for this?
Yeah. It depends on, the age of the woman, like if she's seeking, pregnancy, because it can lead to infertility or difficulty to conceive. So definitely go to like your gynecologist or go to a wellness specialist.
Yeah, definitely.
To get blood work checked, because that's going to be the baseline, is having your blood work checked.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll share, and I'm pretty sure she doesn't mind because she's posted about it. My coworker did suffer from that, and she's only 20, I believe.
Okay.
She might have turned 21. I'm sorry, because she's like, give me my years. So, and she changed her diet because they were talking about the infertility and stuff like that. And this was just last, and I was like, what's that? I've never heard of that.
Yes.
So, wow, definitely want to get that under control. That's something you struggle with.
Yes.
All right. What's the most rewarding part of working with your clients?
I would say just the entire journey itself, from beginning to end. And I'm more so speaking on my weight loss clients, just because I see the process from day one to when they actually have the consistent weight loss and they're meeting their goals and they're changing habits. Like it's almost like a mind shift that you see, and just the generosity that comes with it for a lot of people to be able to get to a point to where they're finally losing weight, even though they've tried for years and there was nothing that worked for them. So I would say that's probably the most rewarding part to me, is the journey itself that I walk with every person. And every person is very different. So what I do for patient A is not the same that I do for patient B.
Right. So because I've had my gallbladder removed, so I was like, I wonder if I could take weight loss things after having my gallbladder removed, because it's kind of like filtering.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Because I need a good 15. Okay. I'll be there. Yes. How has your business grown since you first started?
When are you hearing this?
By next week.
I first started in a little small loft area where you first started me, and now I am acquiring my own location. So yes,
that's good.
Yes. So I'll be opening my own space now. So that's how it's grown.
No, that's right. We're gonna have details for y'all. So that is amazing, girl.
Yes, thank you.
Listen, everybody know I'm a hairstylist, right? So my client sit in my chair and I'm like, go to Janae. And I have one client, Z Harper. I don't know which name she went by, but she was just at the salon last week, and she was like, you interviewing Janae? That's my girl. I love her. And ever since you've introduced me to her, and I'm gonna follow her anywhere she goes. But just to see your growth, to hear your passion since you started, your promotion, and then still holding down a full-time job.
Girl, it ain't easy, Lord help me. But you said it exactly. It's my passion. So when it comes to being passionate about something, I can go hours on end and I will never get tired. So
that's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Mhm.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Because people are like, how you stand up? I'm literally just creating.
Mhm.
It's me and what I'm creating, what I'm
Right.
passionate about in that moment. The time
Right.
flies by for me. It's no
Yeah.
problem. If y'all could
Yeah.
just sit there and be quiet. Don't turn around. Don't talk.
Right.
All right. So, what are some upcoming goals? Where you have the new business
Yes,
coming out, but
yeah.
are new services that you're excited
Mhm.
about? Anything?
So just kind of with the whole PCOS rollout, just focusing more on women who do suffer from hormonal issues.
Mhm.
So that's going to be my new branches, like the hormone therapy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that cause like hair growth or like
The PCOS?
yeah, facial
Mhm.
hair growth and stuff like that?
Mhm. Yeah, it can.
Okay, because I have a lot of clients. Well, not a lot, but I have
Yeah.
some who
Yeah.
that is a concern for them. Is there something that you could offer them? Is that something I could refer for hormone therapy or something like that?
Yes. Again, just kind of checking blood work, just because baseline would be okay. How are your testosterone levels, or how are your estrogen levels, etc. When it comes to the women's panel of hormone therapy, and then from there you can formulate a plan of what would work best for that person.
Right.
Just because not all hormone therapy is for everyone.
Right.
You have orals, you have creams, you have injectables, you have
Right.
pellets, which is something you insert in your skin.
Okay.
There's different modalities for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
so
right,
that
that's
is
good to
something
know.
that start with a full panel just to kind of see where you are and then formulate a plan.
In other words, just send them to you.
Send them to me, please.
Got you.
Thank you.
All right. So where do you see variations of beauty and wellness in the next 5 years?
In the next 5
The
years.
next 5.
Wow. So definitely this will be my primary job.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
I see myself, or variations of beauty and it's variations of beauty, aesthetics, and wellness.
Yes. I love that.
So I want to add on a few other branches like mental health. Yes. So I plan on doing the umbrella that will have mental health.
I love that.
Yes. Just because that's super important, and I have so many people asking me about mental health, just because it is very much underserved. So that
and
would
I
be
think
under
they go
my
hand
umbrella.
in hand.
Oh, absolutely.
100% they go hand in hand. All day, I'm pretty sure as you're seeing people and they're telling you their stories, you're kind of we look beyond the surface, So it's kind of like I want to get to that.
Yes. Yeah.
That is not just fixed with weight loss, or that is not just fixed with vitamin D or something like that. I want to kind of treat that. So that's
and even on like the journey, when I do talk to people, I'm able to pick up on certain cues, like you just said, like, okay, this is not just related to, you being overweight. Like there's a deeper reason, where does that stem from?
Right.
And so many of my clients, they come in and they're like, you should go into therapy also, just because and it's just me talking, trying to get to know the person better, but I'm able to find out so much and why this happened, or why did you get to this point. So just having that conversation and that relationship.
So that prompted me to go back to school, because I, as a hairstylist, that being a hairstylist, that shot me over to starting the nonprofit. Being in the nonprofit started me over to more therapeutic mental health. So going back to school, I'm in the psychopathology and sociology and psychology classes and all this type of stuff. And I'm like, this stuff is needed to understand a human being, period. To know how to come at someone or not come at someone, or how to treat those little cues and stuff like that. So I definitely think that's important. And I love that.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Like when I do different vendor events and pop-up events. And one thing that I often do is share just like wellness tips. So like at the minimum, once a year, you should make sure you have your physical. You should make sure you get blood work done. You should make sure you have a nutritional checkpoint. You should make sure you have a mental health checkpoint. And everyone, they're like, okay, I do this. I do my physical. I do my blood work. Mental health, I talked to my doctor about it, and they just skipped over it. Yeah. So that made me go, okay, this is needed. Like it's something that we struggle with all the time.
Right. I honestly don't think there is enough therapists in the world for what's needed. You know what I mean? So that will be a great service to add, and definitely I'll send people over that way once started.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
So that's part of my my plan for the next 5 years.
Okay, beautiful. I can see it. I can see it coming. All right. So, what advice would you give someone who's just beginning their wellness journey?
I would say to be open and be true to yourself. Just because a lot of us are under false pretense from what we see online.
Right.
Social media has driven so many people to say, "Oh, I want to look like this. I want to look like that." But you have to be true to yourself, and you have to kind of start from within to know where all of this is stemming from. Right. Wellness is a total of your mind, body, spirit. Yeah. So you have to get that right first in order to have a sufficient wellness journey.
Right. And how would they incorporate that in like a realistic day to day? Like I wake up today, how can I incorporate wellness or mental health? What are little tidbits that they can?
Of course. So day to day, everyone's routine is very different, right? I do recommend at least getting some outside time. Vitamin D is super important. Unfortunately, a lot of us work the average 8 to 5, 9 to 5. So the amount of time that you need in the sunlight is not sufficient. So that's where your supplements come into play. So get a supplemental routine, at least have your multivitamins, at least have your vitamin D supplement. And then like any specialty vitamin that your provider has talked to you about. As far as like mental health checkpoint, if you're not seeing a therapist, maybe look into journaling. Just because I feel like a lot of us hold so much in and we harbor those feelings versus using like a journal where you can have that form of outlet. Yeah. So incorporating that. And then of course, like your nutrition and your exercise. Right. That's super important just to make sure, like I always say, nutrition is 80% and your exercise is 20%. And you can't outwork a bad diet. Right. I say that all the time. And then lastly, sleep. Sleep is super important.
It really is. And I can say sometimes I'll notice I can be exercising, I can be eating, but when I'm not sleeping right, it doesn't.
Yes.
Mentally,
Yeah.
Physically too, because now I'm sluggish, now I'm tired, now I'm a little lethargic, and I need more proper rest. So that's key.
Yeah, sleep is important.
That's good.
But you have to make sure like your routine as well when you're sleeping, not eating late at night, just because when you should be resting, your body is not focusing on breaking down food.
Right.
So,
what do you think about fasting?
Fasting is good in certain people. Obviously, if you have a history of diabetes or sugar issues or glucose issues, you should. But it really does help to clear waste from our body. It helps with inflammation, and I really like to focus on things from like a functional standpoint without adding a lot of prescription. So fasting is one of those things, just because it helps to reset the gut. Right. And your gut is like your second brain. So the less inflammation there, the better you're able to absorb certain nutrients and vitamins.
Right. So I shouldn't listen to my gut when it tells me to get 10 wings and fries.
No, ma'am. Not at all.
I got you.
Right.
I gotta know the difference.
Yes.
I gotta know the difference. But you gave some very, very helpful tips today. Is there anything else you would like to share before we give your handles?
So I will definitely just say, if you are struggling with anything, whether it's your energy, your fatigue, your sleep, your hormone issues, men and women, make sure you are having at least a touch point with your provider. If you don't have a provider or you have had some form of a doctor scare in the past, come see me. I am a very thorough person, and I pride myself on being thorough, just because at the end of the day, when I take care of you, it's taking care of me. So I pride myself on making sure I'm doing what's best for the whole team.
Right.
So that's it.
All right. Listen, I appreciate you so much. I value the knowledge that you shared today, and I hope our listeners do too. Where can they find you?
Yes. So I am on Instagram, of course, Variations of Beauty _wellness. You can find me on Facebook, of course, Variations of Beauty Aesthetics and Wellness. And then my website is Variations of Beauty Aesthetics and Wellness. So all those things are official, and the booking site is on there. I do offer consultations, so if you're just curious as to what services you would benefit from, just book a consult and we can figure it out.
I love that. I love
Yes.
that. I appreciate you.
Yes, of course.
Thank
of
you.
course.
You guys, thank you so much for
Yes.
being a part of this podcast. We will see you next time. Give me a hug.
Yes.
Thank you so
Yes.
much. Yay.